Welcome back to Rubbin Mind's entertainment segment. This is the fun part. We all look forward to this part. This is where we ask the hard questions. And of course, we have people who can step up to the day on the hot seats. She goes by the name Omotunde, Lolo one, or Oga Madam, as the case might be. Comedian, an OAP, an actor, an MC. What should I stop? Should I keep going on? An entrepreneur, yeah. And looking very fabulous.
Thank you.
Looking very. This is lovely, and I detect a couple of pounds lost.
No.
A couple of pounds.
I guess everybody's saying I've lost some weight. I guess I'm just taking healthier choices. That's all.
Everybody seems to be taking healthier choices. Is it the economy, or is it just the fact
everything
that
is receding?
When you go to the market and you are shopping, what goes through your mind?
Honestly,
you look at your wallet and you're like, do I even have enough money to buy all this?
It's so hard when you have children they're still growing and you have to service every one of them. It's really hard on every woman to be able to manage the resources they have to do the same things they do every other day. Believe me, everybody's receding, even our hairline.
Now let's where do we start from? Okay, let's take the show, Oga Madam, your Oga Madam. Is it the 5th edition?
No, this year will be the 7th edition.
Oh, this year will be the 7th edition. Okay, kind of lost track of that.
Yeah.
That has been a huge success, but that's just one side of you. But how did that come about, if I may ask?
I do a radio show. It's called Oga Madam Office, and a lot of people find me very humorous and everything. And I love challenges. I like to do
even find it difficult the way you're just speaking to me with like English, and because I know how we speak, I know how they relate.
Yeah, that's my work voice. I tell people that you can multitask, you can be anything. Right now, I'm an English-speaking OAP because I'm trying to impress the Oscar. To get an Oscar.
I'm gonna leave that one, Joe.
Yeah, so I just decided to take what I do on radio on stage, and it's been a huge, you did the first year, maybe you say it's a fluke. The second year came and it knocked out, and we're the 7th.
And I've had the privilege of comparing one event with you. This was a couple of years back, and at a point in time, I actually forgot I was working and had to enjoy the show with you. But let's put work aside for now. I want to talk about women generally. Would I say you're a single mother now?
Yeah, I'm a single mom.
Yes, you're a single mother, and International Women's Day last week, a lot of celebration, hula baloo. There's some topics that we want to touch on, and we're like, okay, you'll be perfect for this. Let's start off with the issue of consent. The Big Brother house, Kemen and the act, and there was a lot of drama. Yes. He put out an apology, but it raised a lot of discourse in the social media space as to, and generally, as to when no is no and when consent is consent. Why is there so much confusion about that now, especially from men to women?
It's all about interactions and the kind of relationship that you have between one another. If you can tell me I want to eat and it doesn't have any other meaning except I want to eat, so why would a simple no, I'm not interested, be misunderstood? That means whoever is misunderstanding it is just refusing to acknowledge the fact that they're wrong or they want to be right. A lot of men just don't understand. They see women like, okay, I have control over them. I can do as I want. But a single no from a woman doesn't need to be contested. We don't need to explain it. No means no. And in that particular context of the Kemen situation, everybody say you are Kemening me, you are Kemenizing me. They've turned it to a slang. One, the lady drank alcohol before she slept. That means she was tired. She probably had no control of what she was doing. She was sleeping. So what other thing can you say that is more assaulting? If she was awake, even maybe not lucid, you might say, okay, I misunderstood her body language. But she was sleeping. So how do we begin to explain no and say, oh, it didn't mean that, it didn't mean that. The lady was sleeping. So there is no way she could even have given her consent.
And how have you been able to, I'm sure in your work and life you meet a lot of women who look up to you, who seek your advice. Have you come across instances where you need to sit down with a woman and literally hear some of these stories and instances, and it makes you wonder?
I do radio, so you can imagine the barrage of questions, of experiences that people come to you to relate. It's very alarming. And with the advent of the social media, it makes a lot of things come out more. Before, it wasn't like it wasn't existing. We were just not aware. But now that we have social media, everything is out there. At least before we got the social media became so prominent, I've had to deal or hear about a case far away in Isolo, in the suburbs. My niece, my sister, used to live in the crowded environment. And there was a 4-year-old child. You know, of course, all of them were wee by the gutter. And she had an infection. And the only way my niece could explain to her mom is, Mommy, there is sputum in her wee. And my sister's like,
Sputum?
Like a child of, how would that be? And she checked her, and a child of 4 had vaginal infection. Wow. And that made her more cautious. And she was being molested by the landlord's son. Much, much older. I mean, I'm talking about that year, he should be nothing less than 27 to a 4-year-old child. How do you begin to understand this? How do you begin to... And of course, by the time the parents were in, they didn't have money. So by the time they discussed, okay, you can go off rent for a few months, of course, everything went away. And the child that was molested has already been, our brain is already worked in some way that it will take years and a lot of counseling to get out of it. Because she didn't get redress. It wasn't like the situation was taken away. Because I didn't know, my sister moved out. So I don't know what happened to the child there after that. So you see a lot of these questions, but the only thing I can tell women is, now that you are aware, speak out. A lot of people will say, I don't want to be stigmatized. I don't want people to look at me like, oh, the woman did something. The world is changing, and we're beginning to see that women get redress. So the more women that come out, the more we can fight, the more we can speak, the more we can see change happen. But if we keep quiet, there's no way that we can get that future we want.
Now, let's go into, I mean, I'm listening to the story. I'm looking at the role of parents and their children. You have 4 kids?
Yes,
you have 4 kids. You're a working mother. You're not always there all the time. I had Dr. Olufemi Kayode earlier on, when women, equality for women and feminism and all the things that are going on now with women wanting equal time. Now, if you have a woman who is clocking as many man hours as the guy at the office, the role of the woman / the father, or both of them combined, whether they're single or not, and protecting the kids, do you think that has an adverse effect on the children in terms of protection?
Of course it does. It does, because nobody can keep your flock like you can.
Yeah.
Because the intuition of a parent cannot be compared to the intuition of a nanny or even a grandma. But the society that we live in puts a lot of pressure on both parents. Either you're a single parent or you have both couples living together. To keep the body and soul together takes a lot, and both of us have to work. The only thing that you can do is do the best that you can. At least you know that, oh, I did the best that I can. Because now, nannies can be pains, nannies can be compromised, even as good as some of them are. Imagine a nanny that started out good, but when you go to work, she interacts with other people. And that can change a mindset, change a perception. But for us working mothers, we can only pray and hope that we're getting the best care for our children. I have family support. My mom is always around to keep an eye. I have my sister there, and I have a very competent nanny. But it still does not mean that I don't WhatsApp. All my children have WhatsApp. I just want to see what's happening in the house. A lot of people are getting cameras in their houses to see what goes on when they're not there, so that you can put a little check and balance to it. And I say that the neighbor next door is not your nanny. Most of the children that are abused today, they're never abused by people outside. They're within, your comfort zone. So don't entrust your children to people that you don't know or that you're even familiar with. I would rather you put your child in a crèche somewhere around the area that you know that they have good staff. You can go there. They have after school hours that you can keep your children for longer hours. I think that will give you a little more peace of mind.
You've been in marriage. You've been outside marriage. I know for those who dare to ask, you tend to have your own opinion about things. And I wanted to ask you this for the purpose of women out there as well, and even the men out there. Is there anything you miss about being in a marriage where there's a man in the picture versus now?
Yeah, of course, any woman will tell you, I miss marriage. Maybe not to the father of my children. I miss the sanctity of what marriage brings. Because for me, marriage is about commitment, it's about fidelity, it's about being in your own space and owning it. It's a covenant relationship that this person is committed to me only. I miss that part of it because the world I live in now